Hi all, good evening. I hope you're all holding on tight. Some of you suggested I stand when sharing with all of us, so tonight here I am on my feet. Many years ago, when I was very young, a friend confided in me that she fell into depression. She told me her depression went to such an extent that she even contemplated taking her own life. And as I listened to her, I wondered, why would anyone think of taking their own life? Isn't life too beautiful and too short to just cut it off? But unfortunately, after a few years, I fell into depression. And as I struggled myself, I understood what my friend meant when she said she contemplated taking her own life. Depression has always been and will always be a prevalent issue among the young people. And with the situation going on at this very moment, it is very important for us to understand what is depression and to learn how to deal with it. Therefore tonight, shall we spend a little while contemplating on what is depression and how to deal with it. Depression is a condition in which a person finds themselves struggling with prolonged onsets of pain, darkness, anguish, anxiety, hopelessness, and sadness. It affects them in such a way that it even hampers their daily life. They are always full of emptiness, that they are not interested in anything anymore. Their sleep pattern is hampered, their eating habits, their diet is hampered. And depression is triggered by many causes. It can be because of traumatic experience that you experience. It can be because of family problems. It can be because of unfulfilled dreams. It can be because of rejection that you faced. But many a times depression can also happen without any reason. And the mindset of our society, ignorance of our society is such that where the people who are suffering from depression are considered to have mental instability. But I tell you, depression is just a sickness that can be healed. Just like a fever, a cough is a sickness, it is the same. You should not blame yourself for having depression. And I urge you, if you are having the symptoms that I mentioned, if you find yourself depressed, I request you to find ways for yourself to be cured. Because your life is too precious. You mean a lot to the ones who loves you, and you need to be cured. And I would like to mention some few steps which will help you to find cure for yourself. The first step that I want to mention is to reach out to someone you trust. The first step is the hardest step, but it is not impossible. With all your being, I ask you and I urge you to find someone who you trust. Maybe it may be your parents, your family members, your friends, or your church members, your church elders, your church workers. Reach out to me. I will always be here for you. Share your anguish, share your pain with them, and ask them to pray for you. And even as you take this first step, take another step forward. Spend quality time with your family, spend quality time with your friends. Join support group offline and online, and you will find support to move on. After that, do things that makes you happy. Do things that you used to love in the past, even though you might not be interested anymore. Take a short walk, do a little exercise, or do things which makes you happy. It will help you to forget your depression for a little while and help you to move on. The most important and the last thing that I want to mention is, even as I struggled with depression, with the nature that I have, the extrovert nature of mine, it was very hard for me to let others know that I was depressed. It was very easy for me to convince others that I was doing well. And I could not turn up. I could not turn to anyone. And I turned myself to God. I turned to prayer. I leaned on prayer. And even as I prayed, I leaned on Jesus. And I always remembered this song, this revival song. The whole world may leave you, but Jesus will never leave you. I asked Jesus to be my friend. I asked Jesus to be my strength. And here I am, able to testify to you that I am healed. I'm happy to tell you, my friend who I mentioned to you is well and striving now. She is healed. If you find yourself hopeless, if you find yourself in darkness, I urge you to lean to Jesus. Pray to Him. Ask Him to strengthen you. Ask Him to comfort you. Even though the whole world may be against you, Jesus loves you as you are. Jesus loves you with all your darkness. Jesus loves you with all your weakness. He will welcome you with a welcoming arm. And He will be your only friend. And He will be your strength. He will be your stronghold. And you will be able to come out of that darkness. Your today may be darkness, but your tomorrow will be light. Your today may be full of pain, but your tomorrow will be full of happiness. But it can only happen if you have faith in Him. If you have your trust in our God. Philippians 4:6 said, "Do not be anxious about anything, but with thanksgiving and prayer offer your supplications to Him, and He will listen to you." Do not be anxious, but always trust in Jesus. And with the strength that comes only from you, you will be able to come out of that darkness. And just like I am testifying now, you will be able to testify one day. God lead you on, God strengthen you, and my prayers for you. God bless.